Yeah. All right. I am Midnight Mike, your late night New York Jets host, your Johnny Carson, back for another live episode Saturday night at 9 p.m. I'm excited to be here. I hope you are too. Jets, Jets, Jets. Now, hopefully, everything is working okay. I thought I had plenty of time before the show to get in touch with Xfinity, which I can't do during the week. Okay. I can't do it during the week. And it's just so busy with the two kids and the job and my wife. We're running around, and we know that calling Xfinity, and you have to put aside half hour, 40 minutes to actually even just to talk to a customer service agent, people. And I decided to do this after putting my daughters to bed. And right now, they told me, even though I'm seeing my internet kind of look like it drops out here and there, maybe not dropping out, but going low, that I should be bumped up 4 times the internet speed right now. Now, it literally happened 15 to 20 minutes before going live right now. So if the internet isn't perfect, hopefully by next week, this customer service agent, I had it all down. Look, I have all the information down right here. I've got how much I'm paying, what speed I'm getting, that I'm getting a new modem. That's another thing. I'm getting a new modem delivered for free. The return will be free. I got the number to call. Guys, I'll be able to come at you with Jets content that comes at you in crystal clear internet service provider, whatever words, hopefully by next week or the week after. I'm hoping it's better tonight. I'll be honest. I don't want to put Maddie out because he's actually already in the green room. He will be coming in soon to talk to me. He's my officially unofficial co-host here on Why I Hate the Jets Saturday Night Live edition. It's like I'm Conan and he's Andy Richter. Like, that's the kind of thing we're working here. Although I think me and Maddie are both better looking than Conan and Andy Richter, but that's not for me to decide. There's a bunch of things I want to talk about tonight, and one of the main things is Woody Johnson at NFL, Honors or whatever. He had a bunch of things to say, and I have all the tweets from, I forget who put it out, but I have all the quotes. We'll go over each one independently, but it sure felt like Woody Johnson was firing at Robert Salah and Joe Douglas. Zach Wilson to a point too, but when you fire at Zach Wilson and talk about how shitty our backup situation was, well, you kind of have to go at Joe Douglas and Robert Salah on that one, especially Joe Douglas. It's his job to get somebody in there, and he had plenty of time to do it. We'll talk about that. We will also talk about Super Bowl 58 tomorrow, 6:30 here on the East Coast, which pisses me off. It's like, why is it so late? And I know that's just me getting into my 40s, but I feel like I remember when I was a child in the 80s and maybe even into the 90s, it was earlier than that, because I mean, I guess it's done for the West Coast because that would put them at 3:30. Am I right on that? 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. But still, if they're at 3:30, then oh my God, it's like I get it. Look, I used to spend every Super Bowl Sunday. ESPN used to show those half-hour highlight videos, hour highlight videos of each Super Bowl in a row. And that was awesome. Now you have to remember, I started my first Super Bowl I remember watching was Super Bowl 20, which was the Bears and the Patriots. And I remember it being earlier, but at the time, that's only 20 Super Bowls. Now, to show all the highlight videos from all the Super Bowls, especially if they're longer, I think they're a half hour. I think the NFL filmed, I think they're a half hour. But if you were to show those, I mean, think about that. 57 other ones. So 57 times 30 minutes. Do the math. I'm not a math teacher. I've never been a good math student, but I would assume it'd be however many hours is half of 57. So let's say half of, oh, Jesus. I don't even, my brain is about to explode. It's got to be in the 20 something, 25, 26, 27 hours range. I'm okay with that. I think I'm close there. But either way, yes, a lot of things to talk about tonight. The Super Bowl, the Woody Johnson firing on all cylinders. Was he right? Was he wrong? We'll talk about that. And I'm sure we will talk about a lot of other things. And thank you, folks. This is the first episode of the Why I Hate the Jets live broadcast where I come in over 1,000 subscribers. Last week was the first week I came in at 1,000. Now, once again, we talked about this. So go down. If you're watching and you haven't, go down below, hit the subscribe button. More importantly, I want more people to see me and know that I'm live. So by going down and hitting that thumbs up like button, it's going to send it out in the algorithm to more people. So please, if you're watching this, go down, hit the like button. I love you for that. I'd love you even more if you hit the subscribe button. That's what you need to do. But my first episode, I actually lost a person right before going live. And it's because I put out an episode of the Goat Gazette, which is my other YouTube channel, the Goat Gazette. I cover the Hartford Yard Goats. I'm official media for the Hartford Yard Goats. I get into all their special events, media day, and all that stuff. And I went to their preview party at Duncan Park. And as a matter of fact, here, check it out. This is what it's going to look like on my page. And I think someone actually came in and saw that and went, oh, he's not doing Jet stuff. Oh, well, unsubscribe. Listen. This is a Jets channel now. It's officially a Jets channel. I'm going to talk Jets, but there's so many other things I'm going to talk about with the Jets, okay? I'm going to talk about the Hartford Yard Goats. Am I going to put more of my Goat Gazettes out on this channel? Probably not. Maybe 1 or 2 a season just to try to get some crossover. But you have to go over to the Goat Gazette, actually just Goat Gazette, on YouTube, and that's where you can get all my coverage. I have me going to home games. I have me traveling to away games and showing you how I stealth camp in my van. So much crazy stuff. I love the Hartford Yard Goats. The season's coming up. It's going to be exciting. But I still am number one, New York Jets at heart, right? New York Jets at heart. Lunatic Jets fan. You can't become a lunatic with the Hartford Yard Goats. It's a AA ball club. And the team changes 75% of it every year. So you really get into a player or whatever, and within a year or two, they're gone. And that's why I always had a hard time getting into college football. But, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked Notre Dame. A, Rudy, of course. B, they were always on NBC. You could always see Notre Dame games. And now I've checked over the past few years. I'll go on and be like, where's Notre Dame? And I'm not seeing it nationally televised. So if I had to pick a team, it'd be Notre Dame. There you go. All right, let's bring in Maddie. Let me get to him. Hold on here, people. Oh, I wanted to show you before I bring in Maddie. This is what it looks like right here. So if you see this on my page, I'm not changing the page to a Hartford Yard Goats page. I have the Goat Gazette. I released it on the Goat Gazette today, but to try to get a few people over from this channel, I put it on here. So if you're into baseball, maybe you want to try to get into a minor league team, the Goats are the way to go. The Goats are the way to go. And that's what it looks like. Check it out. All right. There's my intro. Oh, God. What's up, man?
There he is. How you doing, brother?
I'm so frustrated. If this internet thing doesn't work itself out after what I just went through, I'm going to be so pissed. It might not be perfect now, but I'm getting a new modem delivered I'm hoping everything in the next couple of weeks will work itself out.
Nice. Well, I want to take a quick second to say thank you to a couple of guys at work that said they subscribed. They might have lied to me, but thanks,
No,
boys. And I
since
am.
since last week, I have got an influx of a couple subscribers, so I really do appreciate that. Anyone who did subscribe and anyone who's watching, go down and hit those thumbs up.
I did make Jets juice.
Nice. So what is it? I know you couldn't get Ecto
It's
Cooler.
green Hawaiian punch, and this is awful. I fucking
I never
hate
said it.
this.
I never said it was great.
I'm gonna finish it. I've got more, but yeah, instantly
You
I regret what I've done.
you actually reached out on Twitter to me. I don't know if it was through DMs or whatnot, but you said you were going to make it, but I didn't realize you were going to make it for the broadcast. Otherwise, I would have done the same thing. I thought you were just making it for fun.
Well, let's do it next week. Oh wait, I'll actually be in Bridgeford next week.
Yeah, you'll actually be in Hartford. And the funny thing is, we have another connection that I didn't even put together. That I'm a big Hartford Yard Goats fan, and you said when you get here, you want to try to get yourself a Yard Goat hat, which would be
100%.
awesome.
Yes,
but they're the AA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so over baseball in general. I'm like, I could actually like the Hartford Yard Goats just because I kind of hate MLB. I don't hate it. I'm very apathetic to it. I'm a Mets fan. And I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, win, don't win. Like, I follow the Mets basically through the newspaper or the New York Post. I just read the articles. I don't break my neck trying to watch games anymore. I actually watch a lot more MLS.
We are not brought to you by MILB, Minor League Baseball, but I will tell anybody this, and we will get to the Jets. We're going to get to this Woody Johnson thing. We're going to get to the Super Bowl, but let me explain this, okay? The MILB package, I think, is $50 for the whole season, but every team will release a promo code through their Twitter, through their Facebook, or whatever. You put that promo code in, it becomes $30 for the entire season, and you get every game of every minor league team from AAA, AA, High A, Single A, you name it. It's unbelievable.
I could live with that.
It's the most affordable with the most content package I've ever seen in any sports, entertainment, anything. So I watch pretty much at least a bit of every single Hartford Yard Goats game unless I'm there. And even when I'm in the stadium, if there's something happens, the MILB TV is always a few seconds later. So if something happens where I'm not catching it or they're not showing it on the big screen enough, I'll pop on right on my phone and watch the replays there.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool. But yeah, definitely gonna rep the Yard Goats. If nothing else for the channel, but I like the logo. I think it's cool.
Well, this is their super alternate logo.
Right. I like the other one.
The one with the biting of the bat.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love that logo.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm wearing in the new video. And I'll tell you, man, I did not expect what I got when I went to this press party. It was not only fully like the food made in the park. They have chefs that make a lot of their food in the park. Each year they come out with new specialty items, fancy items. Of course, they have the normal, hot dogs and shit like that, but they have all these like specialty items. They had 3 separate tables with sliders. One were regular sliders, one like cheeseburger, one were meatball sliders, and one were chicken parm sliders. And then they took like one of those fry racks and just dumped the fries right in the middle of 2 towers of sliders. Not only that, I go up to get a drink at the bar. And I find out it's open bar. You just tip the guy.
Did you just farva it up and just open bar dude it?
I couldn't because I was there to do the Goat Gazette, and I was planning on interviewing the new manager of the Goats, who's Bobby Meacham, played for the Yankees a bunch of seasons in the 80s at shortstop. Yeah, he was but after when I could get to him, he was just mobbed with people, and I'm going to be going to media day, so I'll get him there.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's really exciting, man. Like I say, and I will be there next week, so I'm excited to check out.
I am going to try to get up to Hartford one of those nights when I get off of work. I'm just going to go from work up to Hartford and hopefully be able to meet you guys at like a bar.
Yeah, we'll catch a beer and whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best. The problem is there's Valentine's Day in that week. How'd you pull that off? Hey, wife, I'm going on the week of Valentine's Day to visit my bro in Hartford. How'd you pull that one off?
I have no idea. She was like, all right, cool, whatever. I was like,
well, regardless.
I have a contingency plan in place. However, I'm like Batman, dude. I have shit set up.
All right. Well, that's
She
good.
doesn't watch
I want
this, so I
people
can say
to know that down in the comments section, I believe I put it in as the first comment. It looks a little bit something like this. You can click that link and you can call in and talk to me and Maddie. How about that? I mean, that's
Hey,
like,
come join us. Say what's
that's a
up.
big deal. Yeah, we're kind of a big deal. But you could call it. It's very simple. You click the link, you put in your name, and I'll see you waiting, and I'll bring you right in.
I think of us more as Johnny and Ed, by the way.
Oh, Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. Oh,
You are correct,
dude, that's the Tonight Show I grew up with.
That's what I grew up watching, man. I mean, I used to love Tonight Show. I used to love when Joan Rivers would take over for a couple of days. I always thought she's really funny, like the guest host. Johnny Carson's. They had a biography on him. I read a couple of years ago. It's really interesting.
You read? That's not going to work for me.
This is terrible. Oh God!
Add some more Hawaiian punch, or get a higher quality vodka.
I don't think there's any saving this shit, man. I think next time I'm just gonna put green food coloring in my vodka soda.
I mean, I have some vodka in this. I mean, and that's just straight in a highball glass.
I told you I actually have that exact glass. I just can't find it to prove it, but it's around here somewhere.
I have a set of 4.
Oh, nice.
And I bought them together, and I could have bought a set of 5, and I was like, that's an uneven number. That just doesn't work for me. And then one broke, and it actually broke in the middle of last season. So I was like, oh, did I just curse the goddamn team? You know? And of course I did, because they were what, 4-3 at one point?
Yeah, they ever even that good?
They beat the Eagles, and that was 3-3. Then they went into the bye. Then they beat the Giants 4-3, and we were running high.
That's right. Yeah.
Except for the fact that the game versus the Giants, we shouldn't have won.
No, that was like one of those, like when a plane crashes and they say it's an act of God. That's what that victory was.
Well, another thing is that I hear people talking about throughout the year. I even was listening to The Fan the other day and heard Evan Roberts complaining about how we've needed a backup quarterback the whole season, and we're going to complain about it tonight. But he'll sit there and be like, you know, if we had a competent backup, you're looking at the Raiders game we would have won, the Patriots game, the first Patriots game we would have won, and it's like, well, how about the Giants game that we shouldn't have won?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, no one ever brings that up when they bring up all the things we could have won with a competent backup. They never bring up the ones like the Giants.
Hey, thanks for joining us. New Colin or commenter. Nice to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, guys? We're doing good. And you know what? I think this is a new person. And thank you for dropping in. All right. Let's do this. How much do you know about this Woody Johnson situation?
I saw it. I read the article in the Post. Talk is cheap. He's done this before. He's bitched about stuff and said we need to win now. Blah blah blah. They gotta fucking win. It's, you know, I'm just so sick of it. All feels like propaganda. The owner means it now. Okay, whatever.
See, my question is that I thought two things when I started, and I have all the quotes. I'll bring them up. But when I started to see these quotes, at one point I'm like, well, too little, too late on these comments. You know, what the good job Woody saying this the day before the Super Bowl. But then I thought, why didn't you do anything about it? Right. Why didn't you go to JD and Salah and say, look, I know I'm not supposed to meddle, but get some fucking talent on this team at quarterback. Get somebody now, or at the end of the season, you're gone.
Yeah. I mean, do something or you're going to make me do something. But
absolutely.
Right now, talk is cheap because, again, he already said, oh, they're both coming back for next year. You know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, great, dude. You can bitch now, but you've already committed to him. You're not going to fire anybody right now. Like
a lot of people thought once that report came out from The Athletic that it might be back on the table, but of course we haven't seen anything. So that leads me to believe that we are going to be dealing with Hackett and Salah and Joe Douglas next year.
I think he's all in the hopes of a healthy Aaron Rodgers before.
Oh, absolutely. So. Absolutely. But I thought two things about this report. The first one, like I said, was why didn't you do something about it? The second was, do you think Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are such good talkers that they throughout the season just kept saying to Woody, like, don't worry, we got this. Don't worry about it, boss. We got this. We got this. We got this. And this was Woody blowing up at the end and being like, you know what? I said something all year, and they just kept trying to reassure me, and they had me bought in.
Very possible. It's kind of like that episode of The Office where Michael has to fire somebody and Dwight talks him into who to fire. Maybe they're that good.
They're good talkers, but not when they get on the field.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I really do feel like if they start poorly this year, Woody's going to have to fire somebody just to make himself not look like a clown.
Oh, wait, when are you saying that he should fire someone?
I would say 4 games. If they start out really shitty, to save his own face, he's going to have to do something. Otherwise,
absolutely,
it's going to be like, okay, old man, just keep talking.
Listen, this is what I'm going to do. I want to get through a few of these comments. We got Mets in the green room, so I'm going to read two. I'm going to read all of Jay's comments. He's got 3 comments, and we'll address those, and then I'm going to bring in Mets. Robert Saleh is horrible in X's and O's and in game adjustments and time management. Never holds players accountable. I feel like you messaged this last week, but you're right. Absolutely, 100%. Time management never holds players account. Yeah, and I think we talked about it last week, Maddie. It's as simple as this guy. He's only like a human being, an excited human being when we're up. When we're down, he's a statue. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He then goes on to say, Joe Douglas been working on O-line. Yes, absolutely. Can't disagree there. Man, I miss scoring Ken O'Brien, Altoon, Wesley Walker. God, you are not kidding. You are not kidding. I've talked about this before. I have a show. You search on all your major podcast platforms. It's The Undroppables, and it's all called Honest Jets Talk as of right now with Honest Abe. And he and I we just did a Mount Rushmore of Jets players, but not the best players statistically or it was literally just the people that we loved, the people we looked up to as kids, like the heroes to us. And I'll tell you right now that Ken O'Brien, Al Toon, Wesley, they were all there. They weren't on my Mount Rushmore. I had my 4, and then I had my honorable mentions, and those were all ones I was fighting for, and those guys were there. All right, let's do this. Let's see how. I know my internet isn't working as well as it should. We'll see. What's up, Matt? How you doing?
I like the hat.
Well, they're not having a good night tonight against Indiana, and I'm blaming this on the fucking tin man we have for a coach.
It's little growing pains. Those trades were good. I think they'll be all right.
No, I said Tibbs is the problem. I mean, why the hell would you start Taj in the middle when he's way past his prime, and you only brought him back as a damage control piece?
Damn. I said this before. I stopped following the NBA many years ago, but I have loved seeing highlights and the Knicks creeping up these standings. You have to remember, I may not be a basketball fan.
Down because of injuries and Thibodeau going into panic mode with damage control pieces like Taj, starting him over Jericho Sims because Jericho is sick. But if he's healthy enough to play, regardless of the illness he's got, let him play. Damn it, he's better in the middle than Taj is.
What are they saying he's sick with?
I don't know.
Is it just like a cold? Because if it's just a cold, get out there. Michael Jordan played with the fucking flu.
Yeah, that's my point. The NBA players these days have turned to pussies.
Well, that's why I stopped watching 20 years ago. There's no defense anymore. You can't touch anybody.
I mean, in the sense of even if you have something as small as a common cold, you don't want to go out there. And the Knicks need Sims. Randall's out with a dislocated shoulder. Hartenstein out with a chronic Achilles ailment that's going to keep him out for another month. You don't have Mitch until April. Why not put Sims in instead of putting Taj in to gas himself out every damn time?
No, I love him too. There's so much passion. Like,
Mets,
I react to the Jets
There's
like this.
There's no logic in that.
But I go back to the Knicks where I actually recorded it on a cassette tape off the radio, the go New York, go New York, go. You know, we're the Knicks and we're back on pace. Everyone gearing up for the championship race.
So much fun to watch. There's actually a
John
great book
Starks,
out there,
baby.
There's a book called Blood in the Garden by Chris Herring. He's an SI reporter,
Mhm.
and it chronicles just the '90s Knicks. It's awesome. It's a great read.
That sounds awesome. I would check that
This is
out.
the reason I can't trust Thibodeau in the regular or postseason. He grinds his players to dust. It's the same thing that got him in trouble in Chicago. It's the same shit that got him in trouble in Minnesota. It's going to get him in trouble here in New York.
All right, guys, check it out. I want your guys' thoughts on each comment that I bring up.
Okay.
And see what we think here. I got 4 comments that were quotes from Woody Johnson to, I believe it's Brian Costello. I don't know if it was to Brian Costello or if Brian Costello was there in a press conference. But the first one is, hold on. Let me make sure I got everything here. All right, here's the first one.
There's been no defense.
Woody Johnson at the NFL Honors. We need a backup quarterback. We didn't have one last year.
Yep.
Well, it's true. Nobody's denying that.
Well,
but where was he before the season started saying, hey, we shouldn't, hey guys, like, I know you guys are, have your mindset on Zach Wilson, Joe Douglas, you drafted him. Clearly you don't want him to be a complete failure because that would be on your record, but you need to get somebody else in here at the time when we could get Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew or Baker Mayfield. Look what we could have had Baker Mayfield. We could have had Gardner Minshew. Both of those guys were in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Revitalize himself with the Bucs.
Well, he look, I know you can't take anything away from Gardner Minshew. Not only did he, I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield, not only did he have an amazing season, Cinderella, most would say, with the Bucs, but he also won the NFL or the Pro Bowl quarterback precision competition, which blew my mind.
Then again, the Bucs are a team that are considered the kings of the current era tank division.
Oh yeah, I mean, aren't both? I believe NFC and AFC South are just terrible.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire.
I mean, you look at I feel like every year, and did we ever end up talking about on the show how I have always said that I don't believe in the whole each division champion makes the playoffs. I'm not for that.
We haven't talked about that, but I don't have a problem with that.
I never heard of that.
No, I'm saying right now, every division champion makes the playoffs. Boom, you're in. But then you have seasons where teams will sneak in at 7-9, 8-8, and there's teams that will not make the playoffs because they have to put each division champion in. I say, and I've said this since this bullshit started, if you win your division, awesome. You get a hat, you get a t-shirt, you get a little banner. But if you don't have one of the best, what is it, 6 to 8? How many guys make the playoffs now? So if you don't have one of the best 7 records, you don't go to the playoffs.
I agree with that for all sports.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look in the NBA last year, the Miami Heat, they won the South title, Southeast title, and yet they were a playing team. Where's the logic in that?
But how did that work out for them?
Yeah, it should literally.
I'm just saying, where's the logic in that?
I agree.
You win the division, but yet you have one of the worst records in the NBA, and you still sneak in. Granted, it's in a play-in tournament. You still got to run a gauntlet before you get to the proper playoffs.
I still don't like the play-in tournament.
Neither do I.
Oh, that's that new thing this year, right?
Yeah, I honestly though, like again, I'm a huge hockey guy. That was the
dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
And I really think it should just be like for playoffs, just top 8 teams down, not Metro, Atlantic, whatever.
That's hockey.
I know, but in all sports, just be top 8 seeds or however many seeds, 7 for football. You know what I mean? Best records go first. Boom, 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 boom. Stop with this nonsense of, okay, well, you won your division, so you get the number 3 seed automatically or whatever. I agree with Mike on this because I want to watch the best, like the most entertaining matches I can find. And again, I mean, if you're like, how many years ago was it where the Seahawks got in at like 7-9?
That's what I was talking about.
Who the hell wants to watch the Seahawks get their dicks chopped off against the number 1 or number 2 seed, whoever didn't get the bye? It's like, stop. Nobody wants to watch that.
I mean, next year, whoever's number 1 seed will not even get a bye at all. They'll bolster the playoff to 8.
Look, I don't care. I don't. My thing is not that I'm worried about how many people get into the playoffs. It could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 8, but it needs to be the best 6, the best 7, the best 8. It shouldn't be
I
the
think we're
best
all in
5
agreement on
and then
that.
some division winners.
I think we all agree on that.
True.
Yeah, that's something that I mean, for
The NFL
years,
needs
I
to
never
bump it up.
understood it.
I'm just saying the NFL needs to bump it up to 8 teams to at least make it symmetrical. I'm not overkill OCD, but I do have a bit of obsessive compulsive disorder where I want things to be orderly and symmetrical.
I get that from you.
Well, I get that completely anyway.
And I'm the same
'Cause
way.
it's
I like
an
even
8
numbers.
An 8, yeah, an 8 would be so even. It would be 8 to 4 to 2 to the final Super Bowl or whatever. It would work out just great. And getting a bye, it's like I get it, but I don't like the one bye.
I could live
When
without
we used to have
anybody
the
having a bye. If you're gonna
me
play the
too.
lowest seed, like that's almost a bye.
Correct.
So
I mean,
Correct.
it's
Like
just
you
something
should,
with what
you,
baseball pulled recently, doing the whole 6-team, 2 buys, and wild card series setup a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
a couple of seasons ago, and that thing's a pain in the ass to deal with.
now what do you guys? So what? Okay, so I just need to ask you guys, since you both seem to be basketball fans, and you said you didn't like it. What was the whole fucking point of that stupid tournament? What was the point of that?
nobody actually
Both
knows.
it and my guess is for both it and the by proxy in-season tournament, it's basically a means of trying to mitigate tanking teams that suck from deliberately trying to tank, give them incentive to try to get into the playoffs or even do good.
I also think it's part of a way to limit load management. So, for example, if say you're a giant Kawhi Leonard fan, well, of course they're probably going to rest Kawhi when he's playing like the Nets because it's not even in your conference, let alone, you know what I mean? A loss to the Nets.
So they want more
They're saying
starters and everybody playing.
This is a big deal. This is one of your play-in or your tournament games, etc. That's my take on it. I don't know. I think the whole thing's dumb. I think they should just find teams that overuse load management.
All right, let's move on to this next Woody quote, and then we're going to get back to some of your comments down in the comments section. I really do appreciate that. Anybody watching, hit that like button. It'll make more people see us here on the show. So if you're watching, go down, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. We're about to get back to your comments, but here's the next gem from Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson on Robert Salah and Joe Douglas. He says, the discussions we've had in the last couple of months, they've seen me about as mad as I can be. My question on this one is, if you're saying like now, if this quote was the discussions we've had the last couple of weeks, they've seen me about as mad as I can be. I get that, like, of course, because you're telling them next season this has to be done. But if it's been a couple of months, then why the fuck wasn't there a change? Or did he come in like November, almost December, when we were already pretty much out of it? Maybe not mathematically, but he came in and was like, late to the party, like, hey guys, can we do something about this? And they're like, it's not worth it at this
Woody
point.
Johnson, as mad as whatever, clearly wasn't that scary.
No, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, clearly they weren't intimidated.
I mean, if they've been watching it for months, it's like, I mean, so the fuck what? Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's kind of like when you have that. It's like when you're so good at your job, your boss is not going to fire you. Like
when Matty stops looking at his phone, he's allowed back.
That's not me.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Mets. When Mets stops looking at his phone.
Like, I mean, but it's like, okay, well, you can go. It's like the end of Inglourious Bastards. I'm gonna get yelled at. I've been yelled at before. So what?
I was just messing with you, Mats, by the way.
I know. I just wanted to see what it was, what kind of illness Sims has been out with the last 3 games.
Mets is swiping right on Tinder, baby.
It's not COVID, as far as they know. That's a relief, at least.
Well, even if it is COVID, it's like, what is it? What is that? Like, I mean, look, if he has the COVID at this point is essentially the flu. So it's like, I get why if you
can't address on this atmosphere of a channel.
I meant COVID is extremely dangerous, and you should go get boosted. You should get your flu shot with
Dude,
the
COVID
regular
was
cover
best couple
band
weeks of 2021. I
and
had
then the blue one.
whole year.
Follow what
I would
Travis
like
Kelsey
to get
says,
it.
folks.
I would like to get
I'm never
COVID again
getting
as
it.
soon as
That's
possible.
bull
No,
anyway.
no,
Fear-mongering
what I'm
bull.
saying is if he has COVID, what I was trying to explain is if he has COVID and it is like the flu and he has flu symptoms, and let's say he's shitting all over the place, obviously I get why he wouldn't be on a basketball court. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. I ain't guarding a guy who's got the shits. I'd be throwing him the rock.
I don't know, man. Well,
You'd be boxing out motherfuckers like crazy if you stink.
Yeah, especially if you're wearing like Knicks home uniforms.
I'm just saying I wouldn't elbow me. Why? It might go poorly for both of us.
Well, you know, if he does, like I said, if he does leak and he's wearing Knicks home uniform, you're gonna see it. You're gonna keep your distance.
Just throw some depends.
They're in
on
the
that.
blue ones tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they see. I'm so old school. When I was watching, they always wore white at home.
Well, for one reason or another, the NBA is starting to become like the NFL and the NHL. On occasions,
I hate that.
road teams will be wearing their home white and their alternate blues at home.
I've always preferred the home team in white. Always.
Same
See,
here.
for me, the home away thing. It's per league. So it's like if the NFL wants the home team to be wearing their colors, okay. Then that's the rule across the league. Home team color, away team white. If NBA wants to do it where home team white, away team color, okay. But I don't like where you could wear any uniform on any day of the week. I hate that shit. I'm old school and I'm a traditionalist, and I just want it to be like make up your mind.
Just have some stability and some consistency.
The only sport we seem to have that these days in is baseball. Roadies get to wear alternate colors, but usually gray. Homies alternate colors, but mostly white.
Yes. Yep. Did you guys see? I know Maddie's a Mets fan, but I'm a Yankee fan. Did you see what they're doing with the Yankees away jerseys?
What are they doing?
Show us.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I will not buy another Yankee jersey while there's a little swoosh right here.
Yeah.
The last one I have is a Derek Jeter from the last season at Yankee Stadium, and I'm good with that. Like literally, I'm good until they remove that swoosh, and I will not. Those oh God, the Mets had that huge like Presbyterian New York. Get these fucking ads off these uniforms. Like we are not Europe.
Well,
like,
it's not like the owners need the fucking money.
I know.
These ads are not keeping the league afloat.
Patches on the front. I mean,
I hate
that too. It's basically it's overkill commercialism.
God, everything sucks.
Well, okay, so here's what the Yankees are doing, and I'm for this, except for the Nike swoosh. That I will never buy a baseball jersey with the Nike swoosh on it. But what they're doing is they're going back to their pre-73 away uniforms. So in 1973, the Yankees added the white trim around New York on their gray uniforms, and it's going to go back to where it was, where it's the dark navy blue on the gray, the way it was when like Roger Maris played.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just taking all the white trim off the numbers and the New York on the front. I am 100% on board.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when I saw it,
I remember
go ahead.
They played in '96 against the Tigers, where they having this like pseudo graveyard throwback uniforms.
I don't know what specific uniforms you're talking about, but when I heard that the Yankees were changing their road uniforms, my heart dropped. I was like, what are you doing? Like the Yankees are the Yankees are the Yankees. You do not do this shit. Like we're not, no offense, we ain't the Mets. We're not going to have Mike Piazza trotting out there in a black jersey. It ain't happening. That's not how the Yankees roll. But all they did, like I said, was go from their 70s now away jerseys and go back to the ones that they were wearing with Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris and all those guys. So
I just want the Astros to bring back the Tequila Sunrise jerseys.
Which ones were those? Oh, with the different color, the
you know
different
what I'm talking
shades.
about.
Yes,
the old 60s to 80s unis.
Yeah,
I like those. Vrabel is a good coach.
Where did Vrabel go? Where is he at? New England?
Couldn't be. He I don't know. That's something. Somebody get on Google. I miss Charlie Ward. Man, we're just at this point in the comments section, we're just making statements. It's not like, hey guys, here's what I think about the whatever it is.
Well, it's the off
just
season
statements.
It's the off.
No, I'm not against it.
Oh, I know. I just think it's cool, actually.
The Salah just stands there clueless with the Todd Bowles stare. Hey, Todd Bowles is laughing at us right now. Todd Bowles was in the playoffs. How about that?
Than we are.
Yeah.
4 years running out, Bowles has been there.
Guys, anyone watching, remember to hit that like button and go down into the comments if you want to join us on the show, or leave a comment that we can read. NBA needs to get back to the 90s to 2012 basketball. So why didn't you just say 90s to 2012? Now, I'm going to say they need to get back.
What this is about. It's because of the whole Big Three mold concept that LeBron formed when he took his ball down to South Beach.
Oh, and they did like the dream team with
him, Bosh, Wade,
yeah,
and basically destroyed the old dynamic of the NBA that we came to know and love. And then, of course, LeBron had to push his political stances and basically ruin the NBA and basically have Adam Silver, the current commissioner, who's nothing more than an overkill, people-pleasing puppet, in his back pocket. David Stern would have never taken that crap from LeBron.
No, I agree.
He's not wrong there.
Having three massive superstars all go to one team. I mean, but in the past, Jordan and Pippen and Penny Hardaway and Shaq, or Shaq and Kobe, and there's so many teams out there that had at least two major superstars, but there could be arguments made for the third and fourth guys too on some of those teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I miss basketball in the 80s when Larry Bird would just give someone a nosebleed and the foul wasn't even called.
Yeah,
that's what will get me watching the NBA.
I may hate
again.
the Celtics, but I'll always love the Hick from French Lick.
And
one of the best stories ever about the 3-point contest. Which one of you assholes is playing for second?
Well, and the other thing is that how many people have you ever gone onto YouTube and watched kids of today, or people of when I say kids, folks, I'm talking about people 25, 30 and younger. Have you ever saw them watch Larry Bird highlight videos?
They're blown away.
They're blown away. And then we grew up with that. We grew up with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and these guys.
These young guys all want to be Steph Curry and just shoot threes all day long. And I'm like, dude, there's so much more to the game.
I love, obviously, who doesn't love the 3-point shot? It's like a home run, whatever. It's like the big
threes all game.
Exactly. That's what made me.
My guys get their points in the paint. Those are my guys.
You can't play defense, and it's just 3 points all day. I want to see people fighting. I want to see people attacking each other. That's how it used to be, folks.
Same here.
Is Honest Abe?
And to a lesser extent, you could say the same for the NHL. We want the things like we saw, like the brawls in Motown between the Avs and the Wings again. We want blood. We want fisticuffs, but no.
And why can't every sport just be like hockey, where two guys grab each other, start punching each other straight in the face, and the refs back up for 5 minutes, and then they go, all right, now it's done, and then they go in and break them up? Why can't it just all be like that?
Or, like I said, or in the case of hockey, where I still think it's gotten a little too soft for its own good in some cases, we get games where we get those old-fashioned Donnybrook barroom fistic brawls.
Agreed. I think all sports you should be allowed to fight at least a little bit. I mean, it's just how it is.
Now, look, I get, and speaking of the NHL, I get the deal of putting some games in outdoor venues. But it only works if the venues can hold it and if it's legitimately cold. I mean, last year's Stadium Series game between, I believe it was Pittsburgh or Washington and Carolina, out on the state campus. Good game, but it was still a blowout. And Carolina, I live down here in the Carolinas. It's not cold enough to do a game like the Winter Classic.
I'm going to the Rangers Stadium Series this year. I'll let you guys know how it is.
I once again, we talked about this on a previous episode too. I think how weird it is that there's hockey teams in the southern states. Is I always just, when I think of hockey, I think of New England, I think of Minnesota, I think of Canada. that's ice hockey to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago. There you go.
Winter Classic. It's going back to Wrigley Field.
Now I want to point this out. We thought we had a new commenter. It turns out just to be that douchebag Abe that I do the Undroppable show with. And of course, when I say douchebag, I like him too. That's why I'm hoping he understands that I'm just fucking with him. But it says this is Abe Rogers will vouch for
man. Your ass is fired.
He can't fire me. I am the Undroppables. I am the Undroppables.
You can't fire me. I quit.
At least I'm glad that a certain someone's not getting the WrestleMania main event.
Oh! I know who you're talking about. I haven't followed wrestling in like so many years. That's been 10 years.
On Thursday.
Yeah,
but you wanted
wrestling.
You wanted Cody Rhodes to get the main event and not The Rock, correct?
Yes, but they're still saying with some scuttlebutt there's some way The Rock could worm his way into it, like with some stipulations. I mean, if you bother with wrestling lately, you know that Roman Reigns' returns on his title defenses have been diminishing because it's almost always constant interference from his cousins. The number of times he's been able to retain successfully without that interference in victory, you can count on one hand, as opposed to the rap sheet comprised out of a buffalo scrotum where he's needed that help.
Time out. Not only did I used to call Action Ringside for wrestling promotions, not only did I train and do some pro wrestling, but I was a pro wrestling fan from 1980 to 2010, let's say. Mets, wrestling's fake, okay?
No.
It's not real.
I'm just saying.
You don't need to get so riled up. It's just a bunch. And now wrestlers are tinier than me. Like every guy out there is like a small, tiny dude. I was used to guys who were larger than life. And part of the reason I don't watch anymore is because everybody pretends it's real, but it's not. It's Cirque du Soleil now, essentially Cirque du Soleil in a ring. It's all flippy, flappy moves. And it's like, where are the larger than life characters? I don't want guys with their regular names, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I want The Undertaker. I want Hulk Hogan. I want Sergeant Slaughter. I want the larger than life characters. Now, it's okay to have some great flippy floppy guys, but that's all it is now. And people take it way too seriously. I did it. You don't have to take it that seriously.
Well, I tend to go, but still, the crap that's happened in the WWE the last 4 years is why I've gone overseas for my wrestling fix to the Japanese promotions. Sure, some of them still use their real names, but there are actual characters. There's factions and gimmicks.
Look, if we're going to talk about wrestling, let's talk about the best wrestling in the world, which is, of course, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Well, not only was Glow awesome, but so did you see the Netflix series that didn't get a final season?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's a shame it didn't get a final season, but I used to watch Glow all the time, and I knew it was fake, and I was like, these chicks used to be strippers.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know what? Here's the thing, though. That television series, not only was it awesome, I think, but it also had a lot of boobs, which was another plus. But the big downfall for it was that they didn't give it its final season. So it just, if you were to go and watch it now, you watch 3 seasons or 4 seasons, whatever it was, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
Like
you
no
can't
payoff.
Watch old episodes of regular Glow on YouTube, though.
It's the same thing with Lucha Underground. It never got its 5th season.
Okay, fair enough. I actually loved Lucha Underground. That's what I'm talking about, Mets. That was wrestling that had flippy floppy shit, but it also had big guys and it had characters and crazy storylines off the wall. Why can't we get back to the day where Big Boss Man stole Al Snow's dog, ground him up into sausage, and then fed him to Al Snow?
I thought it was a steak.
No, that was like 90s. That was like 90s wrestling.
See, my wrestling days ended in like the late 80s.
Into a steak, not a sausage.
Whatever it was. Or how about this? How about when Big Boss Man went to Big Show's dad's funeral and hooked his dad's casket up to the back of a car and then drug it around while Big Show jumped on the casket and rode it around the cemetery? That is entertainment, folks. Vince Russo rules, although I don't think he wrote that. And that's all I have to say.
I think he left for WCW.
Yeah, I think he might have been gone at that point.
Around with the overkill amount of gimmicks and not enough quality.
All right, back to Jets.
Sorry.
I would
No,
love
it's okay. Abe says, I'm a grade A asshole. Yeah, absolutely. This dude has come and he has not paid me one effing dime to do these shows. I'm doing it because I love the game. I love the Jets game. All right, here we go. Wrestling not real. What's next, Mike? Santa and the Tooth Fairy are fake? Hashtag canceled. I believe in Santa.
You guys are lucky my daughter's not in here right now.
Well, I've met Santa.
I sat on
So
Santa's lap a couple years ago.
Next
there
thing
you
know,
go.
Some of the Easter bunny's a farce.
Oh no! Whoa! Have you ever seen Hop? The Easter Bunny is real, and he can also be human. So watch out with that.
One of
Or
my
they'll say
favorite
the big
comic books is
pumpkin's
a
fake.
Lobo issue where the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to kill Santa.
Next thing you know, they'll say the Great Pumpkin's fake.
Don't you dare!
Never besmirch the great name of the Great
Never.
Pumpkin. And that was
Three
a
things you don't
William,
talk
that was a
I
Wil-
was talking to a couple of
Religion,
blind
politics, and the
neighbors.
Great Pumpkin.
Good
Yep.
grief.
well. Keep in mind that I did use a William Regal there, Mets with besmirch.
Well, again, I never thought I'd be talking to a couple of Linus supporters. Good grief.
Another quote that we were talking about from Woody Johnson says, "I'm not a playoff mandate guy, but we have to do a lot better than 7 games." Well,
Maybe
duh.
that's part of the problem is you
Well,
need
duh,
to be a playoff
Johnson.
mandate guy.
Well, how about the dumb comment? I'm not a playoff mandate guy, but we have to do better than 7 games. Well, he's obviously not talking about like 1. He's talking about a couple or a few games better than 7. Well, then you're in the playoffs.
I mean, this
What
team
the
hasn't won
fuck?
more than what, 10 since 2015?
What, the Jets?
Yeah.
Since I don't know, I think we've won 6 playoff games in like the past
No, I
20
meant in
years.
terms of regular season games. This team hasn't won more than 10 in any year since 2015.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely no, they haven't.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, they've won in the
And that was
past.
the last time this team actually got double-digit wins, 2015 when they won 10, and Rex Ryan screwed the pooch in the finale that could have got them into the playoffs as a wild card team.
I also wouldn't dig too hard on Rex Ryan because Rex Ryan is the only coach in the history of this team that's brought us to 2 AFC Championship games.
Love speed.
But he's also the one that basically screwed over Tim Tebow.
What are you talking about? Please explain.
I mean, people were so hyped to see Tebow come in periodically as a backup quarterback. Instead, Rex utilized him predominantly more as a wideout or a running back, seldom using him as a quarterback, and that got on the fan base's nerves. And what did it lead to? The play that Ryan and Sanchez are most synonymous with, the butt fumble. And it's a lesson
Correct.
from which the Jets have never recovered.
But the
I think
problem
Hail Mary
is
taking its
is
place.
that coach who first off, Rex had nothing to do with the butt fumble. That's number one. That was Mark Sanchez, period. But neither Mark Sanchez nor Rex Ryan should ever be remembered, especially by Jets fans, by the butt fumble. Now, if other fans want to remember them for that, that's fine. But I will always come back to them and say 2 AFC Championship games. Oh, and how many other teams beat both Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the playoffs? Because that's a short list.
Yeah, I would kill to
Didn't
go
you
back to
lose
that.
to Manning in 09?
Oh, we did, but we also beat Manning and Brady. Didn't we? We lost to Manning the one year, and then didn't we beat? Yeah, we beat the Colts. Didn't we beat the Colts like pretty heartily, and then go on to face New England, and then we beat New England, and then we lost to who? Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a short list, folks. I'm telling you, the Jets in the last 25 years, and if you actually count 25 years and not take out to 2014, go from 2013, because we're still in the 2013 season back, you can also add in the 98 team, just to let you know. That's another playoff win and another AFC Championship game. So in the past 25 years, now once 2024 season starts in September, this goes away. But in the past 25 years, the Jets have been to 3 AFC Championship games. How many have the Dolphins been to?
All right.
0.
How many have the Patriots been to? Let's see.
Well, let's not get into. We can't have our cake and eat it too, Mets.
11,
I
12.
saw a graphic on Twitter recently of all like it was just in one picture and it had every Super Bowl matchup, winner, loser, just in like 4 lines. And seeing all those Patriots ones, it was like, holy shit.
Brutal.
I can't believe that
Ryan
happened.
was
Well, at
such
least
a
now the
joke.
one evil empire is dead, and now we got to deal with a new one in Kansas City.
Joseph Oliver comes in. I love this comment. Jets.
I concur.
I guess was he here earlier when we were talking about how people were just coming in and making statements? That was the ultimate coming in and making a statement.
That's a mic drop statement right there.
Yeah, right there. Just drop that mic. Boom.
Well, and
But
that's a good segue into this year's Super Bowl, honestly.
How is that a segue?
Well, because he's talking about the Chiefs.
Speaking of Jets, let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Well, no, because he brought up the Chiefs, so that's let's just get the Super Bowl talk out of the way.
Oh,
Who
whoa.
Who do we like?
Whoa. Well, this guy's coming in and giving us a history lesson at this point. New York Jets appeared in Super Bowl III, which took place on January 12th, 1969.
The devil deal game.
Which, come on, we talked about this, Mets. Do you really think that the Jets?
I don't know how well you
stems-
can see this, but this is from that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is that from that tail the ticker tape?
Yeah, the New York Daily News gave these out.
That's awesome. Where'd you get that?
I worked at a sports store for a long time, and again, being the only Jets fan in Colorado, basically I bought all the Jets shit we could ever find.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you go to every game, and whenever they come to Denver to play the Broncos.
I do. I take my daughter, and it's actually, now that we buy nice tickets and sit down low with people who have jobs and shit, it's not that bad. It's when you sit up in the nosebleeds with the guy who honestly thinks that he's in some orange themed gang that wants to fight you that it's rough. But
what was the name of the Bronco mascot?
I don't know, dildo. Look, dude, don't get me started. I hate the Broncos. Like I say, my favorite team's the Jets. My second favorite team's whoever's playing the Broncos.
Nice. My favorite team is the Jets, and my second favorite team is any team playing anyone else in the AFC East.
It's fair.
Giants, Jets, Panthers in that order for me.
For teams you like?
Yeah.
I thought you did. Didn't you? Were you the one who said you're a Giants fan?
Yeah, predominantly. But I'll root for the Jets when it's applicable.
So you're Giants, Jets, Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand why the Panthers are at the bottom at that.
Actually, so Mets, I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of a movie called Big Fan with Patton Oswalt?
Closest I would know to something similar where you're going with this is Celtic Pride with Marlon Wayans and Daniel Stern.
No. Okay, so this is actually about the Giants. And Patton Oswalt plays a guy who's like lives at home with his mom in Manhattan and his deadbeat cousin, and he loves the Giants. And one night, he and his cousin, I think, they see a Giants like linebacker, follow him to a strip club in the city and whatever. Things go south, and this guy beats the ever-loving shit out of Patton Oswalt.
Damn.
And it's a really good movie that kind of like, I don't want to talk too much about it. We got other shit to do, but check it out as a Giants fan, and B, just as a good movie. Like, Mike, you might enjoy this too. But it talks about like basically how like being a fan, like it's not your life. But it's a really cool movie, and as a Giants fan, you'll dig it because there's a lot of Giants stuff in it.
I mean, whenever the Giants or Jets come down here, I try to go to the games.
But that's rare for the Jets. How many times do they play in Carolina?
Let's see, they played here.
It's got to be once every 5 years.
5, 13. They've only 21. They played here 5 times.
Yeah. Before we get to the Woody Johnson comment, and then we'll get to, like you were talking about, let's talk some Super Bowl, maybe some predictions. I do want to really quick repeat to everyone, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps more people see us if you hit that like button, and it gets free, so help us out. But also, I released on this channel a episode of the Goat Gazette, which is my show for the Hartford Yard Goats minor league AA team. I love them. I follow them. I do all this shit. And I went to their preview party, which was by invite only for sponsors, donors, and the media. And I had a great time. It's a 10-minute video. You get a little bit of that. And I'm not going to be putting Goat Gazette stuff out on this channel, the Midnight Mike Show, often, maybe once or twice a season for a crossover. But don't think that this is going to be new content for this channel. You have to go to Goat Gazette and check it out there. I would appreciate the subscribes over there just to help me out getting that page moved up. But yeah, that's about it. Well, let me get to this next comment. Excuse me. Give me 1 second.
That's a Yankees AA farm team, right?
Colorado Rockies.
Oh. That's odd. I mean, but then again, living in the Carolinas, my area, it's mostly swamped with White Sox farm teams.
Oh, yeah?
You got the Kannapolis Intimidators, the Birmingham, I don't remember how the teams that. You got the Kannapolis Cannonballers, you got the Charlotte Knights.
No, the weird thing about our division, the Eastern Division in the minor, in the AA level, is it is all teams from the area. So you have the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, which are the Mets, and I went up to their stadium and visited, and that's on the channel.
Actually, they switched to the Syracuse Mets.
No, the double A,
Oh, right.
yeah, is Syracuse Mets, I believe, are single A. I'm not positive. But the double A team is the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. The other two, I went to the Portland Sea Dogs, and that's in Portland, Maine, and they're the Red Sox, so that makes sense. Then you have the Somerset Patriots in New Jersey, which are the Yankees. And then you have the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, which I believe are the Blue Jays. And then you have the Hartford Yard Goats, who are the Rockies.
Well, let's put our farm team as far away as humanly possible.
I know. And the weird thing is that their AAA team is the Albuquerque Isotopes, named after the Simpsons. They have an awesome hat. But they go so in their farm. Oh, and the Fresno Grizzlies are their single A team. So to go up the Colorado Rockies thing, you need to start out in Fresno, California. Then you have
all the way to Hartford.
And you have to fly all the way to Hartford for a season or so. Then relocate your family or your new wife because you're young. Then go all the way to Albuquerque. People used to be like, get out of here, go to Albuquerque, whatever. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Then finally up to the Rockies there in Denver. But a lot of guys go directly from the Yard Goats. A lot of guys go directly from the Yard Goats to the Rockies.
Well, the Rockies are one of the worst run organizations in the history of sports. So
not as bad as the Oakland A's have been lately.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know, dude. The problem with the Rockies, as someone who lives in Denver, is they don't care about winning because they make their money. Because people in this city just treat Rockies ball games like it's just a block party. They just want to go in and get in the stadium. They buy tickets to go hang out, and I feel bad for real deal, genuine Rockies fans because I'm like, until you guys stop showing up to games, what motivation do they have to win? They turn a healthy profit every year.
Now, that's true. And you know what I've said to people who have talked to me about the Goat Gazette, if I ever start making money off Patreon or anything through the Goat Gazette, the first thing that I'm going to do is get plane tickets out to Denver, and then I can visit you, Maddie, to go to a Rockies game because I hear that the field is gorgeous.
Oh, it's a beautiful park. It's amazing.
I mean, and so is Duncan Park, where the Yard Goats play. It looks like a major league stadium.
That's the problem for here, though, is that the park is wonderful. People just want to come hang out. They walk around. They do their thing. So, I mean, what the hell do they have any motivation to sign anybody who can win ball games for them?
In my case, the problem is there are too many minor league teams, and there's no legit major team. The closest ones to me are in Cincinnati, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta. So you know how much of a pain in the neck that is. I mean,
there really isn't anything in your close proximity. I'm surprised.
I mean, the three and the White Sox have at least three of the minor league affiliates: the Charlotte Knights, the Kannapolis Cannonballers, and the Winston-Salem Dash. Other team,
Dash?
Dash.
Like GASH?
DASH. Dash.
Oh,
Oh, the
Dash.
Gash.
I was going to say that's an
There's a
inappropriate
team
word.
called the Gash. I'm a fan right now.
Yeah, I'll get that hat.
I will get that hat right now.
The other team that I know that has legitimate ground in terms of the minor leagues are the Texas Rangers with the Hickory Crawdads and the Down East Wood Ducks.
You got me
I
thinking
love
about
minor
all
league.
kinds of inappropriate ass fucking names for teams now.
I'll be honest. I love minor league team names.
You also have the Asheville Taurus, which are owned by the Astros, the Carolina Mudcats owned by the Brewers, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, whose ownership affiliation seems to bounce around like a hot potato, and the recent team to pick it up was the Pirates.
All right, Columbus. Let's get the Columbus Clitori.
This is the only guy, and I'm talking about Mets, who can get fired up and scream about the Jets, then get fired up and scream about the NBA, then get fired up and scream about something else, and then get fired up and scream about minor league baseball in his area.
Wrestling and minor league baseball. Yeah. See, Mets is a guy that you really want to have like a dice game in a back alley with. Be like, fuck, Snake Eyes, fuck that shit.
Yeah, Mets, what has kept you from starting your own YouTube? Do you have your own YouTube show?
Occasionally, but it's with a partner of mine who lives up in the Bronx. We call ourselves the Mega Mets Podcast. We've only started it up since June of 2022. We're predominantly wrestling prognostication, and occasionally we'll do game calls.
Okay. Because you see, for me, I it's hard for me to like a podcast or a YouTube channel, but when people have like legitimate emotion and let that get the better of them, like I do, I'm the perfect example. If you watch my reaction videos, I like that raw emotion, and regardless of whether I agree or disagree, it's entertaining, and you have that, Mets.
I mean, you should watch some of the podcast episodes.
I will. It's Mets. Is it under Mets 2128?
Yeah, but look under the playlist Mega Mets Podcast.
Okay, I will do so. All right. Why is this messing up? Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get.
Your internet has been great tonight, by the way.
Has it?
Yeah.
It better be after the shit I went through.
I thought you should know.
Oh, okay. Joseph Oliver. Let me get Jets. Last Super Bowl Jets went to man had not been to the moon. That's not fair, because men went to the moon in that year. So it was 69.
Yeah,
the Jets
but they hadn't done it yet.
He's not
correct.
6 months later.
Exactly. So that's splitting hairs. That's splitting hairs. That's like I don't know. That's like being like, well, the Jets haven't won the Super Bowl before Woodstock. Well, yeah, because it happened later that year. You calm down. Air's too thin. Oh yeah, up in Denver. Yep. I might have a problem up there.
That's why I'm excited when I come back east next month, or I leave Tuesday. I'm gonna go drink like I'm fucking Iron Man.
Not only can you drink like an Iron Man, but you can just sit there and take deep breaths of like good air.
Oh,
well, not good air.
Hangovers are going to be non-existent. I'll be like Denzel Washington flight, just hitting that pure oxygen.
You going for the Devil Flyer or Rangers Islander game?
Rangers Islander.
Oh.
Ooh.
I mean, I haven't been to a You're a Whaler boy, aren't you?
No, I'm a Devils fan. I grew up in New Jersey.
Awful.
I mean, I haven't been to a pro hockey game in over almost 30 years now, and was at the old barn, old Fort Neverloose, when the Islanders sucked.
Before we get into the Super Bowl, guys, what do you guys think here? Zach's just one good coach away from a great contract.
I hope so. I wish him well.
Yeah, I wish him well, but
do you?
I do.
I don't.
The jet system is not working with him. Adam Gase. Robert Salah has not been the guy he needs.
I mean, I can't argue with that, but
honestly,
some of the stuff that's come out, some of his actions last season, and some of the stuff that came out this season. I mean, there are players that leave the Jets that I say, like Sam Darnold, because here's what's going to happen in tomorrow's Super Bowl. Brock Purdy is going to go down in the second or third quarter with the 49ers down by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. and Sam Darnold is going to come into the game and lead them from behind to the victory just to give the New York Jets and their fans one last kick in the fucking nuts before the season's over.
I hope
Or
you're
give
wrong.
them this, right?
Well, look, as Jets fans, well, Mets is a Giants fan and a Panthers fan and a Jets fan. But as a Jets fan, isn't that exactly how this script plays out? Think about it.
Why not? Honestly, I don't like. I couldn't care less about tomorrow's game. Honestly, I really don't.
I'm actually considering boycotting it because of all the crap Rodgers been pulling this weekend.
I'm gonna watch it while I'm packing for my trip.
What did you say? The crap Rodgers has been pulling?
Roger, as in Goodell.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, look, I'm not going to miss a Super Bowl. I can't miss the Super Bowl.
I'll watch it, but I will
tell
care.
you there's a certain song that will be sung that I probably won't too care much about and probably go use the bathroom during. It happens at the beginning of the game, right after the national anthem, usually, or right before. But other than that, I'm not going to miss a Super Bowl. Come on, man. The commercials are funny. The entertainment is funny. If it's a good game, it's highly entertaining.
Like I said, I'm going to watch it. I just really don't care about the result. Like, I just don't. I don't have a dog in the fight. There's no one I care about. Like, genuinely, if I have to, like, gun to my head, I guess I'm rooting for the Niners.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with the Swifties. Same here.
I'm just kind of like, and here's the thing. I don't even hate Taylor Swift. I'm just tired of seeing Taylor Swift every time Kansas City gets like a 3-yard run.
Trust me, she's going to break up with Travis after the bowl.
I think they're going to get married. She's the right age.
I'm more on the line of them breaking up because she's basically there for political brownie points and nothing else.
See, I don't even know if it's for necessarily political brownie points. I'm looking at it as the NFL. Everyone has to remember the first Taylor Swift game was the game against the Jets, and the Jets should have
won that game.
Yeah, definitely should have won that game. But they saw the ratings that pulled, and they probably got on the horn with Travis Kelce and was like, "Hey, man, you got to get her to more games." And then a few games later, when they saw how many teen girl medium shirts, Kansas City Chiefs shirts were sold, they were like, well, this might be something that we need to look into for the rest of the season, because if you're telling me that after the crap team that Kansas City had this year, and I don't care what anybody says, it's not a great team. It's not their best team. It's not a Super Bowl winning team. There were many other teams in those playoffs that had a better team on paper than the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs continued to get help from the officials in almost every game leading up to where we are now. And if it happens again tomorrow in the Super Bowl, I would not be surprised. I want the Niners to win. I shouldn't have anything against the Kansas City Chiefs. They did the same thing the Patriots did. When the Patriots first made the Super Bowl, although they were a division rival, I was like, it's not like they're going to be a dynasty and win 5 or 6, 7 Super Bowls. Let them get one. It'll be different. Whatever. Well, and then of course that came back to bite me. But it seems like you win your first Super Bowl or your first Super Bowl in 40 years, everyone loves you. Then you win your second. Yeah, you win your second or your third. All of a sudden, everyone in the country hates your fucking guts. And that's what happened to the Patriots. That's what's currently happening to the Chiefs. And the Chiefs couldn't even have done it. They couldn't even make themselves even a bit likable, because the Taylor Swift thing, I said it from the beginning. Taylor Swift was nobody to me. Nobody. I didn't care if she lived or died. I didn't care if she put out music or didn't put out music. She was nobody. So I didn't like her. I didn't hate her. She was just nothing. Now, I don't hate her, but every time, you're right, Maddie, every time there's just this simple play, they go up to Taylor Swift in the booth to the point where like a penalty is called. And I'm like, well, what does Taylor Swift think of that? Like, can we get a camera up there? I mean, we need to know. And that's why I want the Chiefs to lose so bad at this point. And how many fucking commercials is Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes going to be in? We can't even get a fucking break from them on the commercial breaks.
Same thing with Andy Reid.
Oh, unbelievable. The Nuggies? Give me a break.
Patrick Mahomes really is Kenny Powers in real life.
Who?
You've never seen the show Eastbound and Down on HBO?
I don't have
No,
it.
I haven't. When you said Kenny Powers, I thought you were talking about Chad Powers. Do you know who Chad Powers is?
I feel like I should.
Nope.
Chad Powers was the alternate identity of Eli Manning when he went into what is it called? He like movie makeup, and he went to a walk-on tryout with Penn State University.
Dude, you know I hate the Manning family with everything.
Dude, it's so entertaining.
I bet it is, but
did you ever see the? I think I've asked you this. Did you ever see the one with Jared Goff?
Undercover Boss?
No. Jared Goff goes. Well, he goes undercover, movie makeup and everything, as a like a transfer student to this college, and goes on and he talks all big and acts like he's
Balls
the best.
out.
Like, yeah, well, no. At first, he throws. He says, "At first, I'm going to throw a few, whatever." But then he starts saying to the receivers, like, you know, let's go long or whatever. And the guy's like, yeah, no problem. He goes, and then like Jared Goff will be like, yeah, I don't know if you could run fast enough. And like just he'll start like, and then all of a sudden he just starts kicking ass. And then eventually, of course, they tell everybody it's Jared Goff. And they did the same thing with Eli Manning at Penn State. And they did the same thing with Greg Maddux posing as like he was posing as like a boom mic guy. And the pitching coach for whatever player it was in the MLB was like, oh, I got to go for like 15 minutes. I'll be right back. And he's like, well, I could throw a few. And the batter was like, no, I don't like doing that with other people I don't know. And he was like, let me just throw a few. And then he's like, all right, give him a chance. Yeah, then just starts fucking destroying him. It's so
I think
good.
the closest I've seen to any of these is when Jewel went undercover and sang karaoke.
Oh, I've seen that. Seen that.
That was amusing.
Yeah. I like when people go undercover and make people look stupid.
Yeah, I like the Kylo Ren Saturday Night Live sketch where he does undercover boss and
dude, that's so funny.
So my wife has this business and we do the Denver Fan Expo every year. It's a big comic book thing, which of course to me is just me going and fucking nerding out. But she's like, you should cosplay as him next year with the vest and the name tag and the fucking glasses. And I was like, well, I got the name, so I might as well give it a go. We'll see.
I've done a bit of cosplaying over the last 7 or 8 years.
I don't doubt you. Who?
Yeah.
I've done the main character in One Piece, the secondary character in Death Note, Luke Skywalker. I have a Zoro costume and an Ezio costume.
Nice.
Huh?
I can't say I've ever cosplayed as someone, but I have a screen accurate Michael Myers costume for dressing up on Halloween, and then a screen accurate Jason Lives Part 6 costume. The mask is there. I have the belt with the darts and the machete hanging over there, and the rest of the costume is somewhere else.
Jason Lives will always be one of my favorites because
in the cases of 3 of those costumes, I basically have to throw whatever close together to get a close enough approximate match.
Anytime Tom Matthews is in a horror movie, I'm watching it.
Yeah, Return of the Living Dead.
Part 2 is still my favorite.
Oh, come on.
What do you guys have?
Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is amazing. What do you guys have
against Kane Hodder as Jason?
What do I think of Kane Hodder as Jason?
It's great.
I think he is Jason.
Yeah,
because no one else played him more than once. I mean, Kane Hodder's the man. Guys, here's real quick. We got some comments to get
comments to address.
But let's we've been talking about the Super Bowl, but the one thing we have not done is give our picks and prediction. Who do you think? Now, this isn't who you want to win. I want the 49ers to win. Maddie said he wanted the 49ers to win. Mets, who do you want to win? Not think. Who do you want to win?
San Francisco, mostly to kill this narrative, stop the Swifties from getting what they want, and basically give Roger Goodell the flaming middle finger.
There you go. Look, now he's getting all pissed off about Taylor Swift getting all crazy. I like you, Mets. See, I get crazy like that only about the Jets. Well, and when I talk to Xfinity on the phone, if you can actually get a person. But yeah, you hate Taylor. You hate the Swifties. Okay, we're gonna get hate mail about that, but that's okay.
Gotta shake it off, dude.
Is that one of her songs?
Yes.
I can't believe you know that.
Well, I would rather.
Dude, I have 4 daughters. All right,
set it off and tell them to piss off.
Like, all right, let me tell you a little story. Okay, so I have 4 daughters. I have Taylor Swift CDs that they listen to in the car. I was playing a video game about a year ago. I was playing Killing Floor 2, and my favorite band that hasn't broken up yet is a band called Interpol. They're a New York City band. I'm playing, I'm listening to them, and my daughter comes and she goes, "Oh, this is good music for this game." And I was like, "Yeah, that's my favorite band, Interpol." And I kid you not, my fucking teenage daughter looks at me, not ironically, not kidding, goes, "I thought your favorite band was Taylor Swift." And I'm like,
Oh, God.
"Are you out of your fucking mind? Those CDs are in the car for you two."
Well, you must be a more new school dad than me, because when I grew up, it was if dad or grandpa or papu came in the room, they were watching what they wanted to watch. I'm the same way. When I get in the car, there's zero. Now my daughters like Taylor Swift, and I've gone upstairs and they've been playing Taylor Swift on Alexa or whatever, and I don't make them turn it off. I just leave because I'm not going to be sitting there, teeny bopping with them. But if we're driving in the car, it's gonna be music that I like, or it's gonna be music that I know we all like.
Usually it is, but every once in a while, I'm just like, "Look, you guys want to jam? I don't care." Like when I'm taking them to school, it's like a 7-minute drive. Cool, you can listen to it.
Here's mine.
What's that?
My Skillet CD collection.
Oh yeah, right. That's Taylor Swift's unreleased special edition.
Who is this?
Skillet.
It's his Taylor Swift collection.
I am unfamiliar with Skillet.
So
Who's Skillet?
Deal with it.
I honestly, I don't know who Skillet is. I've never heard of them.
They're a Christian rock band.
Okay.
Like Creed?
Don't you ever talk to me about Creed. I'll fucking leave the show right now. I hate that fucking band so much.
Things like 1,000-Foot Crutch, Switchfoot.
So a little harder than Creed?
They can go a little power ballad-ish, but nothing too bad.
See, I'm old school with my Christian rock. Give me Striper every day.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You could dress him like a bee, dressing like the Killer Bees, Striper.
But then again, I grew up mostly on Carmen, Petra, Jars of Clay, Newsboys.
See, for me, I've fallen into. I used to love a bunch of people never heard of them bands, especially in punk. But I've just fallen back on all the stuff that I've just always loved: 80s music, 80s hair metal, regular metal.
The hair metal channel on Sirius is one of my favorites.
Well, I have a mix on my Alexa where I say, like, Alexa, play my kick-ass mix, and like my daughters will say it because they know that that's the mix that has Poison, Motley Crue, Cinderella, Sebastian Bach,
Rat.
Round and round.
I was even dumb enough to get this when I turned 18.
Is that John Cena's album?
Yeah, granted, it's the censored edition.
That's okay. You ready for this? I see your John Cena album, and I tell you that now. Once again, I grew up on records and cassettes, but the first 2 CDs I bought, I was an over the top fan of the Orlando Magic. The first 2 CDs I ever bought were Shaq Diesel and Shaq Fu to Return.
Oh God! You actually that game.
First 2 CDs I ever bought were Beck's Mellow Gold and 9 Inch Nails' The Downward Spiral.
I think you win. I think you win on coolness there, Maddie.
Well, it's just a matter of like I literally traded a bunch of shit to get a Discman. It's like, all right, now I finally made it.
Discman.
Yeah.
It's not somebody's last name, Discman. It's a Discman.
Hey, let's just church it up, all right? It sounds cooler if it's Discman, all right?
But
yeah, that was the only CD player in my whole house too. My parents didn't have a CD player. It was just like I had my little Walkman.
But let's be honest, guys. The Chiefs win, they'll be the new evil empire everyone needs to destroy.
I think the Chiefs are going to win 23-17.
Okay.
I'm going to say
Kyle there.
And finally breaks his curse. He finally gets over the hump and does what his father did with the Broncos twice. I'm going to say San Francisco. I mean, they've won both of their playoff games ugly, correct?
I mean, I agree.
San Francisco 24-21.
Oh, okay. I'm taking both your scores, and I'm going to mix them up. I'm going to say San Francisco 24-23. 1 point game. And there you go.
Well,
There's our
let's see what
Super Bowl predictions. We are all oh no, you're Maddie's taking Kansas City. I think we're both taking San Francisco. Me by 1 point, Mets by what, 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah. So it's we all predict a close game, which means it's going to be a blowout with Sam Darnold at the helm after Purdy gets injured. That's all I'm saying.
Never hear the end of it.
It's going to happen. But once again, he's the guy. Like I don't. That is a Jets thing to happen for Purdy to go down in the second or third behind Sam Darnold to come in and win the Super Bowl for them. That would be just the icing on the cake for this channel and this show, and why I hate the fucking New York Jets. But I don't wish Sam Darnold bad. When he was here, he was a stand-up guy. He did what he had to do, and he was, Zach Wilson's been a jerk off at points. And there's been more than 1 or 2 times. So for me, we talked about it a little earlier. I don't wish Zach Wilson well, but I don't have anything against Sam Darnold. I mean, now if this happens the way I see it happening, we will get on here next week and I will go fucking nuts. But
I actually won't be here next week, so
no, because you're going to be a couple miles up the road from me up in Hartford.
Yeah, I'll be at the Bridgeport
there you go.
And the Wolfpack game.
I think every time I drive home
The
to
Soundsiders
Jersey,
are an Islanders farm team. You know that, right?
Yeah, the Wolfpack are a Rangers farm team.
so you're going to see the Wolfpack and
they're playing in Bridgeport. We're going to a concert when the Wolfpack are up at the XL Center. We're going to a punk concert. So
okay.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, I said I really do want to catch at least one Pack game. So we're gonna cruise down there, and then the next day we're driving to Jersey for the Stadium Series.
I'll tell you what, Maddie. Not only I told you I'm going to try to meet up with you, but I'll tell you this: if I watch this back and my internet is pretty good through most of this, and then I get a new modem on top of that. Remember last week when I was playing the Jets Dolphins fake spike game?
I watched that actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I went and found it. It was like the second one that came up.
Along.
That'd be fun.
Well, if you've watched it, then it's like it's new in your memory. Anyway, I was thinking like most nights we do this, having a different Jets game on the screen behind,
awesome.
and then maybe quizzing the audience throughout. I mean, because I know you can't see it perfectly,
cut away
so
to it,
away,
and
just see like, hey, what Jets game is this? The winner gets a whatever. I may start the first product that I may get, and it's not even a product I'm going to sell. I'm just going to give it away. Is that logo up there in the top corner, that Jets Midnight Mike Show logo. I think I'm just going to get like stickers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That big. And then when people call in or people are stick with us or people get an answer right, boom. Like I'll send one obviously to you, Maddie. I'll send one to Mets, and then people can rep their Midnight Mike Show Jets logo.
Cool.
Do you know I have an alternate logo of that? That's the one I landed on. But I have an alternate logo where the microphone, that's where the football is supposed to be, is actually like a jet. Okay. But I like the microphone.
I like the microphone.
Yeah, it's what I do. I don't.
It says what you're up to.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. But people, I do want to know. We're going to be ending this show pretty soon. We're at an hour and a half. You can call in if you want to say what's up. I will give another caller or two if you pop in, one more chance. But the link below is in the comments, and also go to the comments and just, hey, if you're watching, click in a comment or click the like button. I've been asking you guys all night. Subscribe, click the like button, and when this is over, go watch that goat video. I'm telling you, it's interesting. Not only do I talk to the two mascots of the Hartford Yard Goats, Choo Choo and Chompers, but also I interviewed Dan Lavallo, who's one of the Goats broadcasters, and he has his own channel, which I will put out right now, and it's called Baseball. Damn it, I'm going to forget it. Whatever. I like it. You can go to my subscriptions. It's Baseball something with Dan Lavallo, and he has been interviewing people since like 1983, and awesome. There's an interview on there of him with Mickey Mantle. There's one of him interviewing Yogi Berra. There's one of him interviewing Willie Mays. Like it's incredible the amount of guys that this guy's talked to, and it's just really cool.
Does he talk to my boy Jim Pagliaroni?
I don't know. I do. Next time I talk to him, I am going to give him some pointers though, because he's releasing videos way too quick and he's not commenting on the comments. So if anyone has a YouTube video out there, or a YouTube channel out there, here's what I suggest. Release your videos, just make them consistent. So every Saturday night, like this show, right? That's just for an example. And when people comment, write back to them. Not only do you get a new friend, someone else you can talk to, and I will do that for anyone who comments, especially once this video isn't live anymore and you come back or I put out a video. If you comment on my videos, 95% of the chance I'm going to talk back to you. Not only because, like I said, I meet a new friend, but also it starts a conversation and it helps with the algorithms and things like that. So these are things I'll talk to Dan about. But okay, guys, before we start BSing about nothing and ending out this show, what do you guys, anything else about the Jets this week? What about what Aaron Rodgers was on Joe Rogan? Did you guys see any of that?
I didn't watch it. I just wanted to kind of listen to it. I might do it when I'm doing dishes. I did see a funny meme, however. I don't know if it was, I think Jimmy Fallon or whatever, and he was talking about Super Bowl ads, and he was like X amount for 30 seconds. He's like, man, nobody's paid that much since the Jets signed Aaron Rodgers for 30 seconds of work. And
which is like, ironic that he'd say that because we got Aaron Rodgers to cut his pay.
Yeah, but that was the only real Jets media related thing I've seen all week. Everybody's preoccupied with the Super Bowl, and I'm glad. It's cool. The Super Bowl's fine. A lot of mock drafts, a lot of news articles, but
right now, once again, we've talked about this on this show. I had somebody last week or the week before, right on my in my comments section, like, you don't talk about the Jets. Why can you talk about the Jets any less or whatever it was? But it's like, and I said to him, I said, look, I said, if you want a Jets content creator who's going to do a new mock draft every week with nothing. We don't know if we're keeping the 10th pick. We don't know who we're signing in free agency. We don't know who we're trading with before the draft. Any of that stuff. If you want a new mock draft every single week, or more like who could we draft or all that, there are so many other Jets, awesome Jets content creators, by the way. Guys, I love to watch, so I'm not putting them down, but they're doing that over here.
Well, and I would also say, if you're going to complain about that, call into the show.
There you go.
Throw us your opinion.
Once again, if someone calls up with draft stuff, I'm just going to be like, oh, it's not, the Super Bowl isn't even over yet.
Here's the thing. I don't mind talking a little bit of draft stuff, but I don't want to go like real specific. A general, like, okay, what should we address? Stuff like that. Cool.
Correct.
5 minutes.
It's that a lot of these shows, they're like mock drafting and picking actual players.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay,
to say, keep up with that.
Yeah, we need offensive line. We want to take the best offensive lineman. We want to take the best tackle. Right. Maybe in a later round, we want to draft a quarterback in like the 5th, whatever.
Now, the first week of April, let's start talking about that a little more seriously.
That's where, once we see what Joe Douglas's plan is for free agency and trades, then we can, and once again, we don't even know if we get to the draft and we trade up or trade down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a total, like, no one has any idea, and let alone free agency and everything else. I just think it's too soon, and honestly, I find like really, really shit like that, it's just too annoying. It's too extra. Not that I'm opposed to hearing about it if I'm in the mood, but everybody's doing it already.
Yeah.
Here, at least we're going to talk about some crazy shit like, what did I read this week, or Batman, or, Mets is going to go ballistic about pro wrestling or whatever, but at least it's amusing. You know what I mean? Like, I love listening to Mets go off. It's hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thoughts on Tom Grassi winning NFL Fan of the Year?
He did?
I think, to be fair, look, I'm gonna be fair. Look, I'm jealous because who the fuck wouldn't want to win that, and who wouldn't want to have the numbers that he has? But I think, honestly, I think he deserves it. Do you know how much money that dude gives to charity?
He puts in the work.
I mean,
yeah,
I think he put in around $700,000 for charity this year.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, not only has he clearly been a Packers fan forever, he's not bullshitting anybody. He loves the Packers. He loves football. He goes live for pretty much every primetime game during the season and does 4 hours, on each game.
Yeah,
I think he deserves it.
His videos are great in the sense that it's clear that he's paying attention to every team in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
in the league, and smaller channels like ours. I mean, he rated me twice during 2022.
I mean, look, yeah, he is what we all aspire to be. Like, who wouldn't want to have that kind of notoriety, those kind of views, that kind of money?
Some of that money to get a more modern Jets jersey than that fucking Favre jersey, but what?
No, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Every time I see him do one of the what every team thinks of, whatever, or week 15, every team.
Team reaction.
And he's still wearing a Brett Favre Jets jersey.
Ante up and get a Revis jersey.
Yeah, again, I mean, yeah, you know what? That would be the best thing for someone who does what he does. Get a classic Jet that will never go out of style. And
Klecko.
Darrell Revis is one of them.
Klecko.
Or Curtis Martin.
Curtis Martin's a good one.
Or Vinny.
Got to rate
Let's see here. Does anyone really care about the 49ers or Chiefs? No.
I agree. I mean, like I say, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl because it's the Super Bowl, but I really, my daughter who's been on the show a few times,
yeah,
she was assigned we got to write about the Super Bowl, and I guess she just looked her teacher dead ass in the eye and went, I couldn't care less about the Super Bowl, and she's 10.
No, but hold on, man. I would have loved that fucking assignment when I was her age. Like, that's a teacher. I mean, seriously? Like, I know it sucks. Look, we watched the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but for a teacher, for an assignment, I would have loved that as a kid.
Yeah, but she's a 10-year-old girl, and she really just likes the Jets.
And that's fair. Camera catches Taylor Swift sitting on Aaron Rodgers' lap during Super Bowl. I would love that.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. And finally, before what it says, Jets wasted a great defense this year on a poor offense. Needs a new offensive coach. Yeah, I mean,
the same thing in 22.
But who hasn't been saying that they need a new offensive coordinator since week 3? And then they had that magical game versus the Chiefs they should have won. And then after that, it was once again just hack it the fuck out of there. Like anyone, just. I said before,
get a guy who's good at Madden.
I wouldn't even care. Like even with Zach, I was saying in early episodes of Why I Hate the Jets on this channel, I was like, get the guy section 104, row F, seat 12. Put him in there.
Paying for PSLs.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't be any worse at points than what we saw with Zach Wilson and like Tim Boyle. But all right, we're gonna end this one out. Mets, do you have anything to promote before I let you go?
Not much. Other than the Mega Mets will be doing a game call of the Stadium Series matchup between the Rangers and Islanders next week,
which Maddie will be at.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you for calling in, Mets. I know you're a Giants fan first, Jets fan second, but Knicks fan always, right?
Mm-hmm. And we need something against the Rockets on Monday.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
I think I am going to probably throw up all that green crap I drank. Oh, my God. It's not sitting well. It's so sugary.
Well, I will let you go, and what I will say is this. If no big Jets news breaks in the next week, I'm looking to, when we get back, we'll talk next week. Oh, you won't be here next week, so I will. You know what I'm going to do? I'll get Ocho on next week, and then the week after that, I'd like to get you and Ocho on the same show, even if
besties.
Even if we're not doing necessarily an 80s or 90s trivia or some sort of trivia, to get you guys on, and you guys can,
I always like talking to Ocho.
Ends.
And the thing is, I gotta say, the man knows his stuff. There's a reason he's the champ, and I definitely hats off to him.
Absolutely. And I want to thank everybody watching. I really do appreciate it. A little light. It seemed like it was a little lighter tonight, but that's okay. Last week, me and Maddie put out the second highest viewed Why I Hate the Jets live show, live show in my history. So I was super happy about that. If you are watching on the download, if you are watching on the replay, and not live, comment down below and I will get back to you. Maybe Maddie can get in there and talk to people, start earning his official co-host position. And we'll get back at you. I really do appreciate it, Maddie. I hope you do have a good night.
Let's catch up next weekend or whatever next week and have a beer because I will be local.
I will keep in touch with you 100% because I do want to do that. It's just going to be weird. Like, cause it's like I said, there's Valentine's Day, there's my daughter's birthday and her birthday party in that week. And then there's also on the nights that I have available, you have a punk concert and a hockey game and all this. So we need to figure out.
We'll figure it out. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I land Tuesday night. So.
Okay. We'll figure something out.
All right, brother. Thanks again for having me and go Jets.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Midnight Mike. I am your late night Johnny Carson, New York Jets host. I will be coming out hopefully with another Jets live show. I'm thinking right now I am leaning Tuesday night, 10 p.m. because I always used to watch Green Bean and all them, Green Bean and Matt O'Leary and Ryan Jets Talk 24/7. And every time they ended at like 10 o'clock, I was like, God damn it. I just want more. I just want more. I'm going to be your more. I'll be your more. We're not going to talk. Those guys are experts. Okay. We talk Jets. We talk other sports. We talk horror. We talk anything. But mostly, it's always going to be mostly Jets. Okay? Mostly Jets. And then there's the rest of you, like the rest of it. So if you don't like a talk show style thing with a bunch of different guests and topics and musical guests, I mean, next week we have Aerosmith on this show. It's going to be amazing in studio. They're going to be performing and only off old shit. None of this new bullshit, not the Armageddon soundtrack. No, I'm just kidding. There's going to be no Aerosmith. I can't promise that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Midnight Mike. Check it out at Midnight Mike Show on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, here on YouTube. Check out the Goat Gazette. Give it a shot. Give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I am Midnight Mike, and I can't wait to see you next time.